Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Summer Exchange live webinar series. Today we have Jim Lemmer and Chris Braziel. Chris, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Joining us from CobraFlex, and they will discuss the direct-to-film versus direct-to-garment printing cost and time savings. Jim?
How you doing, everyone? Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to talk about the difference between a DTF and a DTG machine, the capabilities, the speed, the cost savings, everything that comes along with DTG versus, or DTF versus DTG. Let me just change the okay. So first thing we want to talk about is the the cost. We did a cost study on DTG versus DTF. We want to talk about the cost analysis, the consumables and maintenance, labor and the production costs, and the operational costs. So what we're trying to do is just inform everybody on where the best fit could be for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hear me good? Not muffled?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, good. Okay, so basically what we want to look at is the time, speed, and cost. So what we found out is the cost of a DTG versus a DTF is mostly going to be about time. They've become more and more neck and neck when it comes to cost of the inks. Consumables are all kind of the same now. DTF on shirts used to be very expensive in comparison to DTF. You're talking $80 to $1.20 a square foot compared to $1.20 to $1.70 per square foot. The biggest thing I think when it comes to DTG versus DTF is speed. Speed is the #1 killer of any production and manufacturing facility. So basically what we look at is DTF machines can run anywhere from 100 to 250 square feet an hour, and that speed is increasing on every 6 to 7 months right now. So we're still in the infancy stages of DTF, and we're kind of at the backstage of the DTG. So what we look at is how many prints you can put out an hour. You're looking at 30 to 50 prints per hour if it's a full color, and maybe a little bit more on you're looking at probably 10% more, 15% more on just a black and white t-shirt. So what we have with the DTF machines is basically super easy maintenance. We have our cleaning systems are already built into the machines. Comes through the printer, comes out of the printer already ready to go. Full color prints. They come in. We have 13-inch printers. We have 24-inch printers. We also have 64-inch printers coming soon. So full color. Left chest, full backs. You want to go to 20 inches wide, you can do that. We have some customers that put them put their product on tents, bags. So the ability to put DTF on so many different products is what really kind of sets it apart from everything else. So when you look at that, you want to make sure that when you look at it, you want to make sure that you take that into account when you look at a DTF versus a DTG machine. The capabilities are just massive. We've done everything from shirts to bags to boxes. We're going to bring some boxes in here, hats, leather patches, you name it. So what we'll do is kind of go through. We have a box printed on all 4 sides. So we heat press that right with our heat presses, put it right out the door. So boxes, flipped up boxes. So what we look at there is just how many different options and things that you could put a DTF print on. Clarity is phenomenal.
Polypropylene bags,
Yep.
leathers, leather products.
So one of the things that we look at is, you know, when you look at profitability, you want to look at how many different items you could put a DTF print on. T-shirts, sportswear, you name it. You know, that's pretty much, grab that sportswear shirt.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, you know, what we look at when we're talking about profitability. We look at it and say, if you do outsourcing of transfers of anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 a month in transfers, you're a perfect fit for a DTF machine. DTG machines, we kind of look at that as something that's, you know,
Name and numbers all in one shot.
yeah. When we start comparing DTGs to DTFs, we really just look at it and say, you know, the biggest thing we can tell you is you're going to slow yourself down from a DTG standpoint, and that's the biggest plus about DTF compared to DTG. So when we look at that, you look at the price comparison. The cost of an employee nowadays, you know, one employee can run three machines, and you know, if you're doing in comparison, like we hear this so often in the DTG portion of pods. So one person can run 3 DTG machines, right? So three DTG machines can run in a minute or in an 8-minute period. You got to pre-treat it. You have to hit it. You have to print it. You have to
Load the shirts.
load the shirt, print it, and then go to 9 times out of 10, you go back to the heat press and hit it for another 30 seconds just to cure it. So time consuming, you know, like I said, 3 to 8 minutes on average is what it's going to take you on that. 3 to 8 minutes, you're going to print on average probably about 5 to 10 12 by 12 shirts here on this machine. About 30 seconds of print right now. On the faster machines, we can run, you know, hundreds. You know, this one will do 244 square feet an hour. So, you know, but your average shirt is going to be about a 10 by 10 print, right? So you're going to probably average about 275 to 280 shirts on average. There's a lot of misconceptions about time and time studies and all that, but in reality, when it comes to DTF versus DTG, time is the biggest killer for the DTG. Not to mention that, again, the pricing is a little bit higher on the inks, but your time is the most expensive thing. Because when you look at a time study, you know, an average person making X amount of dollars, and dollars are higher now for employees, that's going to really eat you alive. We have some people that are completely converted, and they don't even do anything with DTG anymore. We put one DTF machine in a guy with a DTG scenario, and he said, "We're done." Sold all of his DTG equipment and pretty much was ready to go full speed. So he was getting a higher yield just from the DTF, and just said, "I can't spend all this money anymore." So if you maintain your equipment's going to last you. Your inkjet head's going to last you on the average of anywhere from 4 months to a year and a half. It varies depending on your environment. We tell people to make sure that your environment is a proper environment, anywhere from 50 degrees to no higher than about 78 degrees. So once you're in that zone, your machine's going to take care of you. Always maintaining your machines is really important, just like a DTG. DTGs are, you know, if you've seen DTGs, half of them are taken apart. You know, you got to take them apart to clean them, right? So that's been a big help for us, is, you know, maintaining and making sure that the printers that we build have all the extra options, cleaning functions, and and we try to output the fastest machines in the industry. So, and the smallest footprint. So what we want to do is basically look at that and say, hey, you know, how do we compare? So with a DTG, and Chris can kind of speak a little bit more to the DTG stuff. He's got quite a bit of experience in the DTG side, so he can kind of go over, you know, pros and cons of his experience too.
When it all boils down to it, the DTG market right now, one of our partner companies is DuPont. They designed carting technologies for us, which has been a huge improvement. They definitely warranty pretty much the print heads now because it's all through DuPont technology. We're OEM certified through Epson USA. We purchase all of our heads through Epson. We're the only DTF machine in the industry that is OEM certified. But on the ink technology, just on the DTG world, it's about 70% down right now on that side of the industry. So there's a big influctuation right now of the newer technology of direct-to-film printing, which is definitely taking away a lot of the customers that are interested in a direct-to-garment machine. The pace and the we're speaking together closer. We've got some chairs sitting here now all of a sudden. The pace of the industry changing into this kind of technology is really advancing. It's printing on a roll. So, you know, like Jim had mentioned, one person running 3 machines is almost boring. You're sitting in a chair or with one machine, or you're playing on your phone, and we see a lot of that in shops. So when customers are advancing and looking to get another piece and another piece, it's just because they're trying to fill more of that void for that employee to make sure that they're more productive. The roll of film is about 600 square feet on these units, and we're on average running on the 2-head machine, the full roll in a day, and on the 24 or on the 4-head machine, we're knocking about 250 12x12s an hour. When it comes to direct to film versus the direct to garment, what is the biggest separation really is obviously like the time period to do it all. Pre-treatment, extra pressing time to make sure you have a flat surface, but more so than not, it's all the different garments and all the different kinds of products you can do between the two right now. For 15 years, it was really only cotton for direct to garment. There's some pre-treatments for some poly products, but there's a lot of dye sublimating kind of going through it, dye migration coming through it. Where on this, we can print on polyester, A4s, Augustas, Badgers, any of the products, nylon bags, which you just can't do. We did a bunch of stuff for a company similar to a Yeti. They manufacture all their own coolers. There's 7 different products in those collapsible bag ice chests. And those products right now, with these units and the technology, it adheres to all the products. So the gamut is a lot wider, product gamut, which you weren't able to do before, whether you had to embroider it or you had to use direct to screen print them directly. So looks like Jim's clicking on something on the camera real quick.
We're just trying to make the
Widen it out.
yeah, that's right. Can't get it wider.
We see it in a different aspect of it too, because we have our installers. All the installers are CobraFlex certified technicians that actually work for us. We don't sub out anybody to do any of that install work. We have our own team here that does tech support too. We have a ticket system, phone, email, texting. But when it all boils down to the bigger picture is that as our techs are in different facilities, they're watching the need and the drive in the industry and how fast people are catching on, just recognizing this technology and finding out that it's not a before, whereas a DTG is a possibility that they might need it. This is I need to do this to keep my business rolling down the road and to stay relatively out front. We've installed machines in houses. We've installed machines in factories in Mexico, and to see somebody in their house producing what is unbelievably amount of film, and they're rolling every 2 days a roll of film on jobs that they're doing. It's just exponential growth internally in these companies. So it's an exciting time right now. Jim had mentioned too about some new technology that we have coming on board, faster speed, different features on units and stuff. And, that's all in due time after we're done doing a lot more R&D. But this is definitely a great time right now for the technology in this industry.
Yeah, and one of the best things that we have right now that works really, really well for us is we've chose some pretty great partners. One of the biggest partners we've chose was Tubelite. They have a great presence across the United States. We really feel that's been a great partnership and a great fit for who we are and who they are to bring the product to the industry. Last year was kind of a wild west scenario with the industry. This year the industry is really taking off. The people who kind of waited back and said, we're going to wait until this kind of settles out. They were smart to do that, but I will tell you that back last year, the year before, every 100 units we sold in the United States, there was 1,000 units sold in China or any other country. So we were kind of behind the 8 ball on DTF here in the United States. We tried different things. We're making different products every year, but I will tell you, the biggest plus we've had in the last year is becoming a partner with Tubelite Denco. Have great reach, have service tech in the field, so whatever we can't handle on our service tech online service, they can help us with in the field. So never to be forgotten. One of the good things with us and Tubelite is Tubelite as a dealer is not afraid to hold inventory for every machine that gets put out in the field. So that's a real big plus for that, because there are a lot of times that people run out of inventory and we get it. One of our other competitors runs out of inventory, they start taking from our dealers. But Tubelite has been really, really good about keeping on top of that and working with us to make sure that we have enough inventory for all their units that are in the field. And right now they're probably at what,
30 or so.
Yeah, 30 or plus units in the field, probably about 40 real soon. So they've been a great partner for us. And from a DTG to DTF standpoint, we always recommend that think about the speed. The speed is the biggest plus for the whole scenario. So many people have said, hey, I'm just going to buy a DTG, and 2 months later they're like, I didn't realize that it takes so long to do this process. And I've had you can't put specialty products on a DTG machine like you can a DTF machine. So those are things that you really, really need to think about. When it comes to, so we got production, time analysis.
One of the things I meant to mention too is that we do get customers at show that do ask these same questions. What are the differences? We give them the differences about the 2 different kinds of machinery, and when they see this run and then they go look at a direct-to-garment printer, they realize right away just the application on the product, whether you want to do custom tagging on the inside or you want to be able to do these things on a direct-to-garment printer, you're having to lower the platen to get that garment. Sometimes you're having to go one direction. So one direction printing only this way, coming back this way, no printing, because you've dropped the garment down because of a neck collar or a polo shirt with with buttons on them, and you need to do a left chest on it. So there's a lot of, I wouldn't say it's negative, but that's probably the best word I can come up with, adjusting to bring that print quality the way you need, because you cannot, it's too far away in spacing. Our print head carriage is extremely low to the film. It's probably one of the lowest in the industry. But what you can do is you can go fast speeds, but you're also printing both directions continuously. So I see that when customers ask us the difference between both, it's almost night and day in our mind at this point. And customers will also ask, that are high leaders in the industry and asking us, is this going to replace it? And the ones that want to hang on say, yeah, no, it's not going to replace it. There's always going to be a need for direct to garment, but I don't personally believe that. I think this is changing it. on a big scale, if you have a direct to garment massive machine and you're doing, you know, big bulk on a big auto style, that's going to hang in there a lot longer just because of the quantities. But as we progress on the direct to garment or the direct to fill machines, our pace is going to speed that up, and it's going to outbeat that, no doubt about it. So I feel like in this industry right now, we're at that point right now where, yes, it's an industry disruptor, but it's really going to be within the next year a massive disruptor to the industry, in the standpoint that you're going to need to have this in your shop to stay competitive.
Yeah, and the numbers are going down when it comes to screen printing versus printing versus, you know, or DTF printing versus DTG printing. The numbers are going down, so the fit in a DTG, the things that are too big for the DTG are a perfect fit for the DTF, and things that are too small for the screen printing are now a perfect fit for the DTF. Time frame wise, financially wise, you know, all that. Because, you know, when you do an 8-color front, 8-color back, that's an 8 setups front, 8 setups back, and that's time. So when you can print, on average, we look at this number. If you take and you say it's going to take the X amount to print, 3 hours to set it up, and, you know, another 10 hours to print. If you go with 100 shirts, and you can do 100 shirts in an hour, think about cleaning 8 screens front, 8 screens back. You know, that's time, and time is your biggest killer when it comes to business, is saving money and, you know, making money. You know, we look at that and try to make everything as simple as possible. But from the DTG side, you know, I hate to harp on it because, you know, it had a good run, but honestly, I believe that the DTG side, I mean, there's commercial DTG side, but the DTG one-off home-based type scenario, I believe in it. I personally believe it's not got long. Mm-hmm. So this is up and coming. Even the big guys are saying, listen, I don't need one machine, I need 10. You know, so our orders come from one. Now they're at the 5 and 10 and 15 and 20 machines at a time. So that's where we know, and we're experiencing it from some high-level customers of ours, that they're taking off their DTG side. You know, we have some customers who are like, I need this going as fast as possible because I don't want to have 5 people running a DTG machine when I can have one person running 3 machines of a DTF. So that's one of the biggest things that we're experiencing at this point. And to the tune of, you know, anywhere from 40 to 50 machines a month going out the door to the big guys. So that level has really taken hold of what's going on, and they're saying, okay, it's time for us to get involved, because they're watching even the smallest guys, we call them the garage guys. You got the small businesses, you got all those areas that are actually just starting to eat into their profit margins because they're doing things the old school way. So by not getting involved or going the opposite direction to like a DTG or you know, the DTGs, look, there's some big, good, you know, large DTGs out there that do a great job. They're getting better at polyester. They're getting better, but honestly, we believe that it's almost a little too late. You know, so, you know, the cost is a big difference. DTG machine will cost you $25,000 to $700,000. A DTF machine, you know, you look at it, they started anywhere from 23 to, they go up to, we will have one to go out the door at about 90,000. But at the end of the day, that's going to be a huge push in the market. So the only thing that I look at that is a minus when you look at DTG to DTF is, you know, DTF, the prints, you know, a little bit softer in some cases, but every month, every 2 months, every 6 months, DTF powders, DTF adhesives, they're all becoming softer. So in 6 months to a year, that's going to be irrelevant. You know, when people start talking about, oh, it feels like plastic. Well, I have shirts that, you know, that I don't feel it. I wear them every day, but I can tell you that if I wear a silkscreen shirt, sure, it feels a little bit softer, but I sweat. It's really, you know, you sweat really bad. DTF, if you print it right and you put your holes in it, make sure you have, you know, negative space where you need it. You know, take the time to do, if you're doing blue and you're going to do a knockout, you're doing black, you're going to do a knockout, take the time to do that and you're going to get a good print. So that's another scenario. Even some of the biggest players in the market that were in the DTG game, like software-wise, are now starting to go to the DTF game. So, you know, that they know it, we know it, and we're just following the trends and trying to be ahead of the game.
Some of the better advantages too is the artwork. It's a PNG file with a transparent background. I'm hearing from a lot of customers out there, one of their huge benefits is that if it was screen printing, to do different sizes, take that same design, make it youth, make it smaller for a lady shirt, make it bigger for a 2XL or 3XL, to shrink it down to make a left chest, take that same design and make it for backpacks, for schools. They have all these capabilities right now with the software. You bring in the one PNG file and you say, I need 50 of them at 10 by 10. It automatically nests it. And then you use that same design, you need them at a 4 by 4. They're going to go on backpacks. And then you might need that design a little bit bigger for a 2X or a 3X. You're instantly, with a click of a mouse, able to nest that and to have all that. And a lot of customers right now that are really seeing the big push for that, it's really elevating their game in what they're offering, where they couldn't offer these things before. One, it was too much in screens, and it just really didn't work out when it came to direct to garment. On the direct to garment side of it, it just wasn't going to work. You had to switch out platens and you had to do a bunch of other stuff to make that work. So there's just the benefits right now are outweighing between the two equipment, and I would say faster and faster.
Right. So yeah, the speed is the biggest thing. You know, next in upcoming months before the beginning of the year, I can tell you that speeds on DTF are going to increase exponentially. You know, we're working on a machine right now that, you know, when we release it, 25 to 3,000 prints per hour. So, you know, these are the type of things that are going to make a difference in the industry. These are the type of things that are going to be pushed harder in the industry. But when you can do what a silkscreen press does, you know, in 3 hours, or, you know, you say some people say they can do 1,000 shirts an hour. I'll tell you, sooner or later that DTF machines will do, you know, 3 times that amount. It's all about the automation. It's all about that. You know, those type of things. Things that DTF and DTG, when you go to compare them, DTG will never hit 3,000 pieces an hour. Never. You know.
We had a trade show in, I think it was in Texas at one of our distributors. We were there for a trade show, and a customer it was his 3rd time he had seen us. We've been there multiple times. And this last year, he purchased the machine, came walking in, saw the machine, loved the footprint of it, and he asked me, you know, should I wait? You know, you guys are always upgrading, changing things and making things better and better, and you have smaller footprint. You guys just came out with DuPont, you know, should I wait? And I said, well, what made you wait the first 2 other times we met you? And he said, one, he wasn't ready for it. He was working on a grant. He ended up getting the grant money. But I said, you know, the further you wait, the more people around you are getting a sharper edge out there, and they're stepping up on you. And his wife looked at me and said, that's exactly why we're here. We're losing all these accounts to people that have this equipment, and they're doing it for faster, cheaper, better. I mean, obviously faster is a big thing right now. I mean, everything's getting delivered to your house faster. You know, you can just drive up and they'll be bringing your groceries and stuff like that. But when she brought that up, it was a matter of, let's get it now. As things progress, we're going to have our ROI finally that we've needed in this industry with a piece of equipment, and we can keep advancing going down this road. Training somebody to do screen printing and hiring more people at this time is very difficult. Not that it's a dying industry, it's not, but it's harder and harder to find them. And younger people today, when we go to trade shows and some of our crew are pretty young. You know, they're running this equipment, and it kind of opens up the light. Like, there's new generations wanting this. Well, they want the technology, they want the computer, they want to be able to, you know, create a cool design and, you know, off their phone, email, create it as a PNG file and start printing it and reduce it down and put it on the side of a hat or on the mesh of the hat or on the back of the hat or on the bill or under the bill. So there's a lot right now that's driving this, and some of it is really just the youth of today looking at this industry saying, I want in so bad for my own clothing lines, and I can now do this. I couldn't screen print before. It was too much, it was too many things, and I couldn't direct to garment it because I, as a younger person, I have too many crazy ideas that direction wasn't gonna give me the answers to. So we're seeing it right now in this portion of the industry on this kind of equipment. So
yeah, and that's, you know, like I said, there's a when it comes to DTF versus DTG, I think that the DTG side of it has a purpose, has a place, but when it comes to DTF, it's overtaking it quite fast at this point. We do know that because some of our partners, we do statistics all the time. We've been in a year case study with one of our ink manufacturing partners, and you know, we watch their trends. They help us watch our trends, and we look at it and say, how can we be, you know, the best of what we do, but also make sure that we're watching not to go down the wrong road. So,
anybody have any questions here?
Anybody have any questions at this point? All right.
I do not have any questions in the chat room.
Okay. Anybody?
Hey guys, this is Earl.
Hey, Earl. How you
I just
doing?
wanted to bring something up real quick as well. And that's on the transfer side of things. How fast these can transfer, because I don't think you guys went over that. And then also what the business opportunity is just to print the transfers and also sell those.
Right. So
You could go into that.
one of the good things about what we're doing is let's go right from the consumables. Right, consumables right now our inks, our films, and our powders all match. So we've done a really good job of putting together a proprietary blend of powders. Our inks are
USA made.
USA made. Our films are pretty cool film. It's, you know, basically what we can do with our films and our powders and our inks. The release from the film, we're able to release in about 3 seconds on a press. So most people are 10 to 15. So that's one of the biggest things that we've been working on, is trying to make that release method faster. So we did an estimate of about 2 hours time savings in a day.
Yeah, about 2 hours a day in time savings between a competitor with a 10 to 15 second press time versus a 3 second.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, employees are working the same, but getting more out of them. And part of us coming up with some of this technology and advancements was because as we progress shorter time period at 3 seconds, well, the machines are going faster. So we need to make sure that we can press faster too, that we're not stretching out our press times, you know, at 15 seconds. That doesn't do anybody any good at that point. So we are probably the fastest right now in the industry at that time frame.
Yeah, we can do 3 seconds, super fast. The reason why we got to where we did with this is basically looking at it and pushing the envelope, saying, how do we stop dye migration from a DTF standpoint? Dye migration happens at a point where it's over 305 to 350 degrees. The temperatures, if it's a bad batch, everybody knows that things are dyed improperly all the time. So what we do is try to hit it fast and cure it within a couple 3 seconds. And if we want to do a secondary hit, we can do that. We can show you that in a few minutes here. But you know, that's one of the biggest things that we've been pushing for, and we're still pushing it. I mean, we don't stop. We don't stop manufacturing different products. You know, everything we do is proprietary blends. Everything we do is proprietary made. So we push really, really hard to try to make that happen. And
On the other question that you had, Earl, too, about the, selling of the transfers. I mean, obviously right now, just in the industry right now, Transfer Express and the Stalls of the worlds and stuff like that are really pushing transfers. And as some, been pushing transfers for years. People can have a whole nother direction in their business. Somebody in their area buys the machine, they're printing their own stuff, doing their own stuff. And next thing you know, it's like, hey, I've got customers around me that are, customer relationships that have just embroidery shops or just a sign shop, and they're selling them the transfers. So the door opens up relatively fast.
Yes.
We're seeing it on an everyday basis. And then we go to the next trade show, and that same customer who's been buying, a roll of transfers every week from somebody is now saying, it's time I buy this equipment. So there's a huge growth in that. Jim and I joke a lot about with every machine we sell, we're taking, probably $50,000 away from stalls at every given moment, because customers are really cranking out a lot of transfers, and they are selling them. They are filling the industry up with, with good quality transfers out there. So that is a whole nother business direction. We joked about it early on about how that was going to change, and how customers that we sold our equipment to would sell the transfers. But early on, those customers didn't have any time to sell transfers. It was their whole business, and their business grew 10 times the amount because, like I said before, they were able to change different sizes of the artwork. They were able to do backpacks. They were able to do cinch bags. They were able to do the boxes. They were able to do all these other items, which they never could do before without going to embroidery or some other way of decorating. So nowadays, their businesses are all flourishing, and they've got multiple machines, so they're able to start funneling by selling transfers to their competitors or to anybody else on, Etsy and all these other forms of decorating.
Yeah, well, what we look at it is we say, we put, this year we'll probably put 1,000 transfer people in business, and then we'll also take, that big business and put another, 300 or 400 of those guys in business. So there's a lot of business out there when it comes to transfers, and these people are really, really pushing it hard, localizing it. Some of the big guys, they have 3 or 4 locations, but then you put 100 of these in the field, you got 100 more locations. So that's a real plus when it comes to what DTF transfers can do. If you're in the wholesale market, that's an instant ready-made market for you. So you just go through there and say, hey, I've sold units to people that I've known, and actually I used to be a wholesale screen printer. I've sold units to people I've known that basically sell. They're like, listen, this is a better profit margin than buying it and selling it from through some of the other channels. So they instantly had a revenue stream coming for their machine right off the bat. And like I said, it's $2,500 to $5,000 a month. If you're pushing that amount out the door, think about if you're buying it for $6.85 a square foot, you're going to be printing it for anywhere from 80 to 90 cents a square foot, and it's time to start making some money.
Also, getting a lot of big franchise companies as well right now that are focusing on this equipment. They might have had subbed out all their screen printing, or they had their franchisees having direct-to-garment units, and now they're pulling those away. They're testing this kind of style equipment, our equipment, and they're really making a big push to put new equipment in their franchisees' hands. Yeah. And so I see it in a larger scale, some of which have 300 locations. So these changes are going really fast, and they're seeing it too because they want to offer more products to put the decoration on it.
Yeah, statistically, what I tell people is that DTF is more of a promotional type item too. But when you look at the statistics coming from like the offset side, coming from the screen print side, all the different areas, when you really look at it, 51% of all promotional products are bought from an offset printer. So a lot of the offset printers are going into this market now. So the market is just widening and widening, but that's only because it's becoming centralized, where or statewide. So if I used to buy my printing from X and I used to buy my silk screening from X, all from the same place, then those printers now can take that on internally. Sign shops, big business with us, with the sign shops. A lot of the sign shops that we've put stuff in, some franchise sign shops, some regular sign shops, they are looking at it going, hey, we got a great revenue now. Because think about this, is from a sign shop standpoint, they're first at market. So they're making a sign for a company that's brand new or moving. What they end up doing is they put the t-shirts, they put the hats, they put everything in their hands, and now they've got a ready-made market for the machinery. So we have, like I said, we have the 12-inch, the 24-inch, and soon to have the 64-inch. And that machine is going to be an animal. But it's a wide open market right now. People who capitalize on it, they're gonna do well. People that buy good machinery, is just like anything else. There's a lot of junk out there, but what we try to say is we work with a dealer network, and that dealer network is what really sets CobraFlex printers and the dealer apart from any other DTF machine out there. So everything is put together here in Phoenix, built here in Phoenix, engineered here in Phoenix. Sent, we have our cases made somewhere else, and then bring it over here and handle it all internally.
So, and then all the installs are by our CobraFlex technicians as well. And so that's like almost about a 2.5 day to 3 day install. It takes a couple hours to get the machine up and going and set up, and then the rest of it's training. So we really pride ourselves on making sure that our technicians have a full report afterwards as well, in communication with the customer during that time period. We're definitely on that for sure.
Yeah. So do we have any questions yet, Tara?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, you want to show them? You want to show them a heat press?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe we can walk around the machine, talk about some of the features on it.
That was gonna be.
What's that?
So thank you.
Yep. So this drying unit has a swing door that swings it open. Heating units, all of them come with the scrubber, so we move a lot of equipment in this room, so we just vent it right out. We have scrubbers in the ceiling that extract any hot air out of here anyway, but machines usually come with a scrubber. It fits right here, plugs into the unit. This is the drying portion of it. Film comes down here, it goes right to the roller. Auto tracking on it, these guys right here, just these right here, set them, auto tracking. Powder system is on the inside of the machine. We have a patented powder saver inside here. It's a powder guide. It holds the powder within the unit. It also drops it out of here onto the film when it needs it. There's an auger system at the bottom that'll pull that up. Head carriage right here. Print heads on this unit. There's 2 of them underneath here at the capping station. It's all protected. It's got sensors on either side of it. If you were to ever hit and have a head strike, I think a lot of people feel like when there's a head strike, if there is one, that the heads are ruined. They're definitely not ruined at all. It's a simple fix. You can just release your lever, let your film pull back out, straighten it back out if there's a situation. Some customers will have it because they will run out of film, and then what it'll do is it'll bunch up if they run out and they don't catch it in time. The heads then, the carriage can move over to the other side of the unit, and you can clean the bottom of them too as well. This door opens up, wipe the bottom of them, and keep the heads clean. All the new machines right now, we have a clear plexiglass on them for easy visibility. The unit's extremely small. The controls on this are on the inside. So right now, all digital display. It's running right now with the powder shaker knocking the powder off. Tells you how like the film is put inside the machine, comes down and around, and then out to the roller. Diagram on some of the controls and what they do. This is where the auger is at right here. It puts the powder up here and then drops it across that bar in there. All the feet have self-leveling bubbles on them all. So all the feet are self-leveling on the equipment. So once we get it and install it, we can get the machine extremely level with the bubbles on it built into all the legs. That was a new feature we did last year. Comes with the computer and the software.
So transfer wise, this is we're set for about 3 seconds on the transfer, at about 292 degrees right now is where we're at. So transfer wise, fast, super fast transfers, ready to go. Most transfers have what we like to call a crunchy feel. Our transfers, over there between our inks, our films, and everything else, our transfers are super stretchable.
You can hear the fabric ripping.
So they pull hard. Now,
Table throws right now too are another big popular thing. They were sublimated table covers in the past, and now you can put as many logos as you want. Press them right here on the table throws. That's becoming really popular right now too, just on the aspect of cost.
this is a simulated embroidery look on a hat. So those are things that are, you can put it on pretty much anything.
It's another simulated version. It's a bigger version, but.
All right. Anybody got any questions so far?
No questions. Earl, do you have anything else you'd like them to cover?
No, I think they did a great job. Just, I guess, some information on, where they should go for the leads. If anyone's interested in buying one of these printers, you can call, 1-800 Tubelite, and we'll get you set up. So that's all I got, unless you guys have anything else.
No, not at all. If you can't find a location, you can go right onto our website. Shows where the Tubelite locations are at, and we can kind of take it from there. If you call here, we'll just refer you, send you right to the right people, or call any Tubelite branch, and they'll help you through everything.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate your time and all of the information that you gave to all of our guests. We thank you for your time, and have a great day, everyone. Thank you all who attended.
Thank you.
And again, if you guys need any information or have any questions, you can reach out to Tubelite. You can call our 1-800 number, or you can call, or you can email us. You can email at tubelite.com. That's the marketing. So we would get you whatever information that you need. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.